Hello everyone, this is Mr. Brain Junkie here, and today we're going to be talking about Alice in Borderland Episode 5. So the episode starts with two very worn down looking blue collar workers, having no choice but to join the game in front of them because their visa expires today. A mysterious man in hoodie approaches them. Wait a second, that's actually Arisu, our main protagonist. He sort of gave away his presence though when he started talking in such a polite way. I wonder why he even bothered to put on the hoodie in the first place. But that's not the main point, because he is actually asking them about the beaches. Looks like he is doing what his friend Karube suggested in the beginning of locating this mysterious place. We skip forward and realizes that Arisu is in fact working together with Usagi to locate the beach, although with little result as of right now. They had 3 days before their visa expires, and it looks like Arisu wants to find this place before that happens, as he believes that somehow its revelation will free them from this terrible place. In my opinion, that only shows his naivete and blind optimism. And another thing, why isn't he joining her in the tent? Does he not realize that this is a golden opportunity for a little bonding action? And plus, he obviously never heard about mosquitoes until now. Anyways, they followed more people that joined games and realizes that some of them in groups are wearing bracelets that the Yakuza from episode 2 was wearing. In fact, they even have working cars which they drove here with. Before they drive away, Arisu and the sporty girl decided to chase them barefooted. I mean, who do you guys think you are? Captain America and the Winter Soldier? Beyond any logical reasoning, they actually managed to chase them all the way to their destination. They saw this huge resort by the waterfront with lights and working electricity. This must be the beach. Before they can celebrate though, they were attacked from behind and taken hostage. No doubt by the inhabitants of this place. When they regain their consciousness, they are put in chairs like James Bond from Skyfall, and in front of them stood this scantily clad lady with a psychotic smile. Another girl with even longer legs walked by and demands to know what they're doing here. It's clear that Arisu has died and went to heaven, but why is Usagi there with him? Joking aside though, it's clear that these people are very well kept. Most likely, they have figured out how to survive in this awful place. At last, the boss shows up and confirms that this is in fact the beach. He even claims that there is a way to go back home, which is the purpose of this place. According to him, they must collect all playing cards to be able to send just one person back, and so far, they haven't found any face cards yet. The boss lays out his ultimatum, which includes 3 rules. First, there are no secrets in the beach. This means that everyone have to wear swimsuits as to not hide any weapons. Personally, I think that's just an excuse for eye candies. Second, all cards won from games belong to the beach. And finally, third, all who played against the beach dies. The two are then put into parties and nightclubs, which baffles them as they were just struggling to survive a few hours ago. Well, as for Arisu, something else surprised him in a good way as well, but that's not the main point. They try to fit in with little success as 2 suspicious women stares at them. I'm pretty sure they will be important in later episodes. Eventually, game time starts and all rushes into the main lobby with the boss giving them a pre-game speech. The vibe feels very similar to Mad Max Fury Roads, as none of them except for our protagonist seems to be concerned about dying in the games. It is here that we also see Mr. Assassin's Creed from earlier episodes with another woman in blue bikinis. I guess it would only make sense that he was part of the organization in the first place. We see that the beach members strategically go in groups and target different games in the hopes of maximum return. But I have to say that the beach members hold an inherent advantage since they have both knowledge and weapons which make the game much easier. But seriously though, did I just see the Yakuza punch a tiger to death? Back to Arisu, as he also traveled with members of the beach to a game that seems to be underground. Oddly, their phones this time is put in waterproof cases. In Arisu's group, We also see Miss Blue Bikini and Miss Long Legs. Oh, and the guy with the hat from the second episode, which nobody remembers, is also here as well. Anyways, the long-legged lady apparently wants to see how capable Arisu is and whether if he deserves a spot as one of the executives. They arrive in this place with rising water and a massive electric generator on top of them. Without saying anything, we already know that they must figure out something before the water makes contact with electricity. Their game is the Four of Diamond, which means this requires intelligence to solve. Their goal is to turn on a light bulb inside a room with a closing door, and they are given 3 rules. 1. Only one switch out of the 3 can turn the light on. 2. They only have one chance to try one switch while the door is open. When the door is closed, they can try as many switches and as many times as they want. 3. When a person is inside the room, the door cannot be closed, and they only have one chance to answer as a group for which is the correct switch. The lady with the long legs, Anne, seems to have figured it out right away. However, she does not tell the group since this is supposed to be a test for Arisu. Our protagonist eventually figures it out and tells Quina with the blue bikini to close the door. He then flips the A switch and waits so the light bulb has enough time to warm up, if it was indeed the correct switch. He then opens the door and uses his only chance to switch on B. If B turns on, then we have the correct answer, but since it didn't, it means it can only be A or C, and he can confirm A by feeling its heat as it was turned on when the door was closed. If the bulb is cold, then the answer would have to be C, but in this case it was hot, so that means A did in fact turn on the bulb when the door was closed and therefore is the correct answer. Back to the beaches, it turns out that Usagi also beat her game and the 2 unofficial lovebirds reunite again. Kuina sees this and trolls them by saying that they should hook up, which I'm sure Arisu secretly agrees but just lacks the balls to admit it. However, all this comedy is cut short when Mr. Yakuza shows up with his band of thugs. Apparently, the beach has 2 fractions, the militians and the party people, which are always in conflict. Mr. Yakuza walks over and wants the sporty girl to give him a good time. Surprisingly, Arisu mans up and stops them, although with little results. I have to give him props though for growing some balls. Fortunately, the real boss shows up and saves our main characters from this havoc. He even makes the Yakuza admit who is the real boss.
Who do you think is your boss then? Aguni.
This makes me question why the militians haven't taken over yet, since they clearly have the weapons and manpower to do so. Maybe the inner politics are more complicated than what it appears to be. The boss man then invites Arisu for a private dinner, accompanied by 2 very hot-looking girls, all for himself and none for our main character, unfortunately. However, it is revealed that the boss used to be a pimp who ran male prostitution. Surprise, surprise. Well, that makes sense since I always had a feeling that he was wearing eyeliners for some reason. Maybe Mr. Yakuza was one of his old customers? Joking aside though, he talked about how his male hoes all left him after one of them committed suicide, and it is his dream to recreate a new organization that supersedes what he had before. This makes me question what his real motives are, and perhaps the beach is not what it seems to be. Anyways, what did you guys think about this episode? Let me know in the comments below. And if you like my videos, please press like and subscribe for more. I'll see you guys next time.